And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Today, folks, I'm talking about a game called Shitenno, which is a game from Ludonaut, who makes some really great games. And this game is basically based on one mechanism. The mechanism is this. We have a big piece of cake. You and me want to eat the cake. How do we split it? We know how that works. I cut it, and then you pick which piece you want. I cut, you choose. That mechanism, which is a great mechanism, is hardly used in board games. I don't know why, because it's so good. Well, this one takes that, embraces it, runs with it, and goes far. Let me show you. Here's the board for the game. It has different regions that are placed around the board. Each of these regions is going to be worth points. As the game progresses, there's also a victory point track around the outside of the board. Let's take a closer look at one of the regions here. So we can see here Chubu. Now Chubu here has two ninjas printed on it, and then the third warrior that it takes to defeat it will change. You'll put these tiles out randomly. So to defeat this province, I need one samurai and two ninjas, or maybe one avatar and two ninjas, or three ninjas, and then when all the tiles are gone, there's another ninja printed on the board. So that's what I would need to do that. The first person to defeat a tile is going to place one of their tokens, each player is a token of their color, on the farthest leftmost one, and that's how many points they're going to get. So the first person to do it is going to get 3 points, then 4, then 6, then 9. It can only be done 4 times over the course of the game. There are 4 tiles, and if you're playing in a 4-player game, each player will have one of these, and this kind of denotes turn order. As you can see, 4, then 3, then 2, then 1 of the symbols on them, but each of these also gives you a special ability. The game takes place in several turns. There is an even years and odd years, but basically one year is the setup year, and then the other year you're going to actually play. Now during the setup year, the player who has the number 4 is going to draw a certain number of troop cards and a certain number of koku cards. So let's say it is a 4-player game, so he would draw 8 troop cards and 4 koku cards. The koku cards are money, so we take a look here. He's drawn this character here, the daimyo, has drawn 3 kokus, 1 koku, 1 koku, 1 koku. He's drawn an avatar, a double samurai, a samurai, a ninja and an avatar, a ninja, a ninja, a ninja, and a samurai. So what he needs to do at this point is he needs to make an offer to player number 3, the shomyo. He's going to have to split this basically 4 ways. So he says, okay, so I'll give this guy a lot of money. I'm going to give him $4, and I'm going to give him the double samurai, and I'm going to let him be the guy to pick next turn. So he gives all this to the shomyo. Now the shomyo doesn't really want this gift. He looks at the cards, he says, no thank you. So he passes it off to the sensei. The sensei says, you know what, I will take that. So those are his cards, and because he took this, next turn he will be the daimyo. The daimyo says, okay, shomyo, you didn't like that. How about if I give you, let's see, 3 ninjas and a samurai? The shomyo says, no, I don't want that. So it gets passed down to the number 1 guy, the Hatamoto guy. And he says, here. And Hatamoto says, I don't want it. So if everyone refuses it, then the daimyo gets it. And the number 3 guy, I'm sorry, he also had to give one of these cards. The number 3 guy then will pick one of these cards that matches one of the position numbers and makes an offer to this guy. He refuses it, and then he gets it, then he gets whatever is left over. So each person is going to have 1 position tile, which will give them a special ability that they can use, and then they'll get these cards, money and or troops. Starting with the player who controls the daimyo then, which was going to change based on the cards that people take, each player has the opportunity to place up to 2 of their markers on the board. To do that, you have to play the cards that are here. So if I want to take Hokkaido here, I would need to play 2 avatars, and here's a double avatar, so that would count as both of those, and 1 Bushi, and that counts. If I was really lucky, maybe I'll have this Bushi plus avatar card and another one. But if there's an unused one that I don't need, well, that I don't get any change, basically. If I do that, I then get to put one of my tokens there. I claim the 3 points, and I also get this top Bushi tile and flip it over, and it becomes a bonus token that I'm able to use. You can also, instead of using troops, just buy a territory. You then have to spend koku equal to the number. So here I would have to pay 4, and I could put one of my tokens on that one and claim the tile just like normal. Now, there's some special benefits that each of the positional tiles have. The daimyo, not only does he get to go first, but whenever he scores, he gets a bonus of 2 extra points. So if this had been his piece he had put down here, he would have gotten 6 points. The shomyo is the same way, except he gets a bonus of 1 point. The harimoto, once per round, can use his tile as a wild soldier. And the sensei, once per turn, can take one of these tiles and flip it over to the golden side. Now, you don't have to claim 1 or 2 spots in the board, but each player will have a chance to do that. Each player also has a chance to use bonus tiles that they've gotten before. This one here allows you to use a card as an extra one, so it either counts as an extra coin or an extra troop of that type. This one here lets you draw a card off the top of the deck, and this lets you change one card into another type. Like I could change a soldier into money or money into a soldier. After everyone has done that, then there will be another even year where you split up the tiles, and this will continue until either one person runs out of all their tiles that they have to control the spots on the board, or when the koku deck runs out. When this troop deck runs out, we reshuffle it and put more there. At that point, everyone's going to count up all the points that they've earned during the course of the game, plus each koku in your hand counts as a point. So this is 2 koku, this would be worth 2 points. Plus, whoever controls each region gets 6 points. If there is a tie in a region, then whoever has most tokens wins that region when you get 6 points. If there's a tie, whoever's farther to the left wins. However, the yellow ones will also break a tie, the golden ones. So in this case, the black player would win this, the blue player would lose this, and the black player would get 6 points. Whoever has the most points is the winner. So that's the game. And remember I said how much I like that mechanic of I cut and split? That's really the whole game. I mean, sure, you can sit there and say, now, I have these troops, I have this money. Am I going to spend the money to get a troop? The only reason you would spend money to take a spot is to get control of that area, because money equals points at the end of the game anyway. But, you know, all that playing the cards, putting it down, that's okay, but that means nothing. It's all about that splitting. And the person who splits has this pressure on them to say, okay, I'm going to give you some money, I'm going to give you a really good special ability. And you have to set it up so that the stuff you're left over with is what you want. I like being the person who splits, but it's difficult because I'm trying to get my stuff. So I'm trying to give you something that you'll like, but if everyone passes on it, I have it. So that forces me to make it so that if you pass on it, everyone passes on it, I'll be satisfied. It's a great thing. It makes you split it evenly. And in a 4-player game, very interesting because you're splitting it by 25. I actually think the game plays best with 3 because you're splitting groups into 3. Anyhow, it's a good, solid game, but if you don't like that thing where you divide and split, you're not going to like it because that's the whole thing. Other than that, great production, good artwork. The game plays very quickly. It says 60 minutes, but once you know what you're doing, we're talking a 45-minute game here. Lots of fun. Shitenno.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.
Shut the door!
There?